everyone, and welcome to Food for Life. This week, I am so happy to have you back. As always, I am your host, Ashley Tresleen, the owner of Bella Foodie. If you don't know already, I am a personal chef and food educator, and I speak at conferences about health and wellness. I love teaching about food. I love eating healthy food. I love cooking. So, as you can see, all right, this is distracting me. I had to do a sleep study at home sleep study thing last night, guys, and I had to have one of those tubes in my thing, and I just realized from the tape it created a line from the breathing tube thing they put in me. So don't worry about it. I just wanted to share. So yes, I have a very weird line across my face. Now, our guest this week is not just a person. We don't just have someone coming. She's coming to represent an event space that is opening up in the area. Now, this is really cool. So if you come to Western Mass, the event space is being renovated. It's being done by a nonprofit. She'll tell you a little bit more about it. So her name is Angela Park, and she's the executive director, and I'm going to welcome her in. Hi, Angela. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I am just, realizing some things today. My day is going very strangely. How about you?
Same here. It's Friday and we're just getting through, right? It's okay.
Yeah. So you just got this event space that you guys have been renovating for a while. So tell us about 52 Sumner. What made you want to buy it and turn it into an event space, and how did this all come about?
Well, the purchase of the building first came about when I was looking for a new location for my before and after school program. And we had a lot of kids in Springfield. I really wanted to be in Springfield, and it was wonderful that it was in the neighborhood where I live. So we looked at the building. It worked perfectly. So we moved we renovated the inside for our before and after school program, moved the program in. And then the next question was, what are we going to do with the nave of the church? What are we going to do with this space? Because it's so specific. And but we wanted to repurpose it. I really wasn't looking into, renting it out to other churches and things. And the whole premise behind the before and after school program here was to bring art back for these kids. It's the first thing that's cut in a lot of budgets within school districts. And a lot of these kids aren't getting any of the arts, and they love them.
Yeah.
And the big thing with me too is I needed to get something in here to keep these kids engaged and away from electronics. So I grew up with music, and I love music. My children all went through a music school, drama school as well. So I was talking to one of our friends, mutual friends, and he was like, you know what? He's like, he's like, you can do it in this space. He's like, you can do it. And he has really been sort of the driving force behind this. This is Dan McKellick. He is the co-founder of Springfield Performing Arts as well. And he's really the one who's been keeping me on task and keeping me on point.
All right, for everyone to know, Dan is a lawyer, so keeping people on task and on par and to minding people's time, that's probably why he's so good at those things.
He's very good at it. And it's quite a bit to keep me on task at times, so it's all good. But so we went ahead and first was making the space not so churchy, right? So we removed all the pews. We got rid of the pulpit. We then extended what is now the stage. We extended the altar out. Repurposed a lot of the old molding, the beautiful molding that was in the building, and we used that sort of as the front of the stage as well. When you walk into the space, it's just it's absolutely beautiful. It's a lot of beams, the old beam style church. So when the space, before we renovated it, it was sort of like a whitewashed brown type of wood on the beams. And I really wanted something that would stand out and sort of draw your eye up. And so we painted everything. All the beams are black with bright white
Whoa.
walls. The floors are absolutely beautiful, completely redone. So it's wonderful to watch people walk into the space because the first thing they do is when they walk through the door is they're like, wow. And I just love that
You
reaction.
know what's funny is I was just in a new restaurant last night, and the first thing I did is I noticed the ceiling because they had like one of those like fancy ceiling tiles, and they were all painted really funny. And it's funny that if you draw the eye up, people start looking at that stuff in
Yeah.
architecture.
Yeah. And it really made a huge difference in the space. So when we renovated, we did all of that. We put in new heating, cooling. We put in acoustic paneling. We redid the balcony. So the whole balcony is a whole other experience in itself. We had
How old is the building?
Um, it was built back in the 1800s. I think it was like 1820, somewhere in
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, and it was built, it was actually, the designs were built, well, yeah, they were drawn by the same person who designed the Chrysler Building in New York City.
Oh, wow.
It's sort of a really cool history and background on the church. So when we did all of this work, we were like, okay, so when are we finished just about middle of November, and we had an event scheduled for December 7th for a soft opening. So it was sort of like all hands on deck. And, when we chose the lighting and all the sound equipment, we really were very careful of what we picked. We wanted to be able to really have control over the sound. So essentially, it is just sort of a plug and play for anybody that comes to this venue because we have this wonderful space with this amazing equipment. We have a great a sound guy, and the space is just absolutely awesome.
So during the renovation, and this building is so old, so is it actually a historical building?
It is, yes. So we actually were just awarded on Tuesday evening a preservation award for
Oh.
reuse.
So,
So
historical buildings, when you renovate them, don't you have to go through a whole
So
process?
for the outside, anything on the outside of the building. So you really can't change anything structurally on the outside. And if it's like we put up a fence for the side, but so we needed to have the front of the fence, sort of like a decorative metal fence. And then, they want to keep it to the period of which the building was, or as close to it as the building was.
And how do you do that in 2024?
It's hard. I have a historical home and it's the same thing. It's not easy. But everybody's been like really, really supportive. The city, I met with the city. They're allowing us to use, if everybody knows which building we're talking about. We are directly across the street from the old Friendlies on Sumner Avenue. So we're on the corner of Sumner and Fort Pleasant.
Now,
So,
this is in Springfield, Massachusetts. Now, we air nationally and internationally,
oh,
so I
great.
just want people to know this is in Western Massachusetts.
Yep.
So if you come here, that's where you are checking things out.
Yes. Yep. And we've had an international act at the location as well. We had a group from Ireland that came in March. So the difference with our space is we're really looking at this as we want unique entertainment and unique different experiences that you would not get at, like, we are not your local bar that you're going to go and get a little band. But however, we're not.
Speaking of, does that mean we can drink there?
Yes, we have a
So if there's an event, we can drink.
absolutely cash bar. So yeah, so we have, we're not your local bar, but we are not the Mass Mutual Center or MGM. We're somewhere in between where that's lacking in Western Mass. You know, you either have your little bars that hold maybe 100 people, or you have huge entertainment
How
space.
many people does it hold?
Just about 400.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
that's a lot of people. So, and we're having another national, actually having our first national act come in on May 28th. And it's actually our fundraiser for, we're hoping to raise some money for summer programming. Our whole mission in this is to keep the arts alive. And by doing that is, we all know it's super expensive to do anything, music lessons, to do, learn, even take a pottery class. Like, everything comes with a cost and it's expensive. And a lot of families have a hard time covering the cost. So the whole mission behind us is accessibility to the arts, keeping things at a very low cost or no cost.
At all ages, right?
All ages. So in July, we have Father Goose coming in. He is a Grammy winner. He packs Central Park in New York City. And that is a community, a family event. So he'll be here for 2 days. And we're hoping with this fundraiser to cover some of the costs so we can open it up to the community for free on Saturday. So that would be, I believe it's July 25th and the 26th that he would be
What are
here.
you looking for from businesses, from sponsors, do you want community involvement in this, or are you guys taking care of that? Like, how is that all going for you guys?
So for the fundraiser, sponsorships are huge for us. We've been very lucky with all the other shows that we've had. We've had sponsorships. We do a lot of networking. So we had, a lot of support from various businesses, with the insurance industries, a lot of real estate agents. So we've been very lucky in that sense. This ask, though, for the fundraiser is quite a bit bigger, only because we're trying to cover a larger price tag. So sponsorships, they start at $1,000 and they go up. And then we have a donation form as well for anybody who would want to give $10 to us. So we're really trying hard to be able to cover the costs of our summer programming, and to keep some really cool stuff coming to Western Mass. I think it's super easy for people to complain that there's not much to do, right? So we're giving it to them, right? So
what kind of things are you looking for your summer programming? Not just the arts, like what kind of programs are you planning, at least, should I say?
So in June 13th, 14th, and 15th, we have something super cool coming in. It's Edgar Allan Poe Speakeasy, and it is 4 short stories of Edgar Allan Poe that are played out on stage. And with those 4 short stories, there's a cocktail that also goes with each story. So it's pretty cool. Yes, it's sort of macabre, but it really, really cool. I would tell.
Is there a dress code for it?
There is no dress code. You don't have to dress up. We're all pretty
just to wear clothes, right?
Clothes. That would be great. Show up, right? So we are not sponsoring that event. We actually had this group reach out to us from Las Vegas, and they saw the inside of our venue and said this would be a perfect place for us. So they're coming in June. And then, like I said, July, we have Father Goose coming in. And then we have a new partnership that we're finalizing. I can't quite say who yet, but I will give you a hint that it is classical music. And we're super excited to work with them. I feel that it's going to give us a level of prestige in what we want. We really want to cover all areas and all genres of music and the arts. So we're looking to possibly have art installations, plays, drama. So we'd love to maybe even hook up with a drama school that needs more space to put on a larger production.
Personally, do you have a like dream act that you would want in the space?
Oh, I have many. So I love Broadway so much. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
with my grandmother, I think I was maybe 9 when I went to see my first show, and it just stuck with me my whole life. I've played musical instruments. I've been involved in the arts since I was in fourth grade, I think. So I would love, 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 love to have like a concert with like, all different Broadway show tunes, and I love showboat music. I love it
Oh
all.
no, we're not that far off. I mean, pretty much Broadway practically moves to the Berkshires in the summer. So,
Right.
getting a few of them to migrate over here 45 minutes this way wouldn't be that hard, probably.
No. And then the other thing I really would love to do is, and everyone laughs, but I saw a production of Love Letters a number of years ago at the Bushnell, and I love the movie. Do you know the movie Love Story?
I have never seen either. They're not
Oh,
my type of stories, so I
yeah,
don't typically
it's
watch
super
that.
old. It's from the 70s, but there was Ali McGraw and Ryan O'Neal, and they did their adaptation of Love Letters, and it was just it's about chemistry. It's a super simple stage production that it's just a reading. It's nothing fancy, but the most important piece is having that connection in that between the actors. They have to have that sort of banter, that back and forth with each other. And so I would love to be able to do something like that around Valentine's Day. And yeah, I mean, I have so many ideas. People are trying just to narrow me down, narrow things down, and keep me Dan is trying to keep me in line, a little bit, slow down.
He's
But
a very down to earth, realistic
oh yeah,
man.
yeah. And when he talks and tells me things, I'm like, it makes sense. But sometimes,
Well, sometimes there's the creative people, and
yeah,
then there's the more
the
balanced,
logical.
realistic, business, logical minds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. That's what the world needs, a little bit of both.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a good balance between the two of us. I'm
Yeah.
a little crazy and he's a little calm. So
Well, well, he's here and he's not here and we are picking on him a little. But I wouldn't say he's completely not crazy.
okay, so I wouldn't have said that, but okay, you're right. It's okay.
That's okay. He can yell at me later. It's
Oh yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah, he gives it back to me all the time, so it's all
I'll let him yell at me next time he sees me. It's fine.
good. So
But I'm excited to see what you guys have done with the space. How long did it take you to renovate it altogether?
altogether about a year, just a little over a year. And it was really, and I'm going to be honest, we had this date of December 7th. It was sort of like a do or die situation. We gave this date of we're doing this networking event, and it was all you brought a toy to get in. Everything was donated to Toys for Tots, which it was great. It was a great event. We got a ton of toys. We were able to donate. But we were literally working up until I would say 3 days before the event. So we had some work to do. And it is still a work in progress, because we're in this, we put a ton of money in, and there's always little things you want to do and to improve on, right? I feel like if you're not critiquing yourself and you're not making changes, then you're going to get stale, right? That's always been something for me in business. Like, you're never going to be perfect, but you need to constantly work it out and better the situation for everyone. And for me,
There's
this was
no right decisions, just a decision, I guess
right.
would be the best way to
Yeah,
put it.
and then you figure it out, right? Everything's a learning lesson, but you can
At
always
least you hope so.
right, exactly. um, but I felt a sense of responsibility not only to this building but to the neighborhood because I live here and everyone knows who I am. It's a very active civic association. And they make it very well known that they're very active and they want to know what's going on because everyone, they're in close proximity to this wonderful building. Um, so when we do put shows on, we are responsible and we always will have police presence here.
What's the parking like? Because I know that area and the parking isn't always great.
Right. So we were working with the city, and they have allowed us to use the parking lot across the street in the old Friendlies, which is now being converted into a preschool.
Yeah.
So so people can park across the street. They can park along Fort Pleasant here, and like I said, we have the police presence, so they're always crossing, people across the street,
So
making sure their cars
how
are
do the neighbors feel about there being an entertainment venue in their neighborhood?
Yep, the support has been wonderful. They were more concerned with the hours, right? And
Okay.
they didn't want a rager in the neighborhood.
I can see that.
And then I think there's this level of they know who I am, so there was a little bit of comfort with that. Another board member of ours also lives in the neighborhood, so he's well known in this neighborhood as well. So that made things a little easier too. And I've lived in the neighborhood for 23 years now. So I mean, yeah, I think just it helped with them knowing who I was. I mean, they still weren't easy on us trying to get a liquor license because we needed their support and everything.
Well, I don't think they're easy on anyone when they try to get a liquor license.
No, and that's okay because we need to prove ourselves to them, right? And to show them that we are responsible. And
It's for safety. I was a bartender and I worked in restaurants and things, and I know exactly how hard that is. And
yeah,
it's more to prove your thing because you're liable and
right,
insurance and things. So you want them to give you a little bit of a hard time.
sure, yeah. But most of them have all come to the events, and we have some great. We have Catering Walsh is a big fan of ours, and she
Okay.
attends quite a few events.
For the people that don't know, she's a local politician here.
And yeah, I mean, so we've had a ton of support. Carlos Gonzalez is another one. He loved the space as well. So it's been great. It's been a ton of work, but it's been a lot of fun.
So we've talked that we've made it abundantly clear that you can enjoy a cocktail and a drink and enjoy your show. I want to get to the heart of the matter. The thing that I do. Is there food at these events?
So we've had some catered events, yes. And we also have a full commercial kitchen downstairs.
Okay.
Our plan is to eventually get to a point where we can renovate it and get it up to code so we can use it. And then we will be able to have these larger functions, maybe brunches and different things like that. And maybe an in-house chef at some point, possibly. Like I'm thinking big. So, yeah. So,
do you want somebody to volunteer now?
Sure. So, I mean, we definitely have like long-term goals and dreams in a way, but they'll happen. Everything's gonna be great. That's what I keep saying. Because I think it's all about your attitude too and how you handle situations, right? So I've been a firm believer of like, you learn as you go. Nothing's going to be perfect, but you can get it as close to perfect as possible. You're doing great. And yeah, just keep learning.
So we are going to go to commercial for a second.
Okay.
And when we get back, we're going to talk about the upcoming concert and all about the entertainment you have coming up.
Okay, great.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Gina.
And we're the hosts on Fire Line Talk. So join us every Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Positive vibrations right here on E360 TV.
All right. And we are back with Angela Park of 52 Sumner, a new event space in the area here in Western Mass. And they have a big upcoming concert that is not, I unfortunately was not familiar with it because blues music is not my forte, but I do find it fascinating. So I want to hear all about it and who this person is, what it's going to be like, how do we buy tickets, what's going on.
So we are very lucky to have Christone Kingfish Ingram coming to 52 Sumner on May 28th. He is a 25-year-old blues player and Grammy winner. He just won four other awards just a couple days ago in the category of blues. So we're super excited. He sells out. He's sold out in the Hartford. He's at Boston Calling, and then he's going to come to us. And then he's headed off to like Vermont and Canada. He's all over. So we are very, very fortunate. Dan called me one day and was like, "Hey, what do you think about this guy? You want me to give him a call and see if we can get him?" I was like, "Sure, why not? You know, like what the heck?" And so he cold called them and they agreed to come to 52 Sumner across the street from a broken down old Friendlies, you know? So it's like super exciting. Like who does this, right? But this is when I talk about the passion and the love for this space, everybody that is involved is just, this is a passion project for them. We're all in some way, everyone on our board is deep roots with the arts and music. And we want to see this succeed. So Kingfish is coming for a fundraiser for us. This will, like I said earlier, hopefully will help us offset some costs for the summer programming. And tickets are on sale at our website, 52sumner.com, or at Eventbrite as well.
Right.
We have.
Are there still tickets available?
There are still tickets available. And we have 3 different levels of tickets as well. We have your basic general admission up to a VIP seat, which is like.
What does that look like, a VIP seat?
You're like 20 to 30 feet away from a Grammy winner on stage. Like it's amazing. Unbelievable. I think it's going to be an unforgettable night. We are also having Steve Nagel from Rock 102 will be helping us out, start the show off. And we may have another person showing up who is just on The Voice. So,
oh, okay. Yes, we have a local celebrity in our midst lately, and I think The Voice is almost over, I believe.
Yep, and so it sounds like she will be here as well. So it's going to be a fun night, and I think it's really going to show what we can do with this space and do for our community, because ultimately that's what it comes down to: community and giving back and being able to make sure that children can or have accessibility to the arts and to everything that they offer.
So we want to be clear that not just musical acts, not just plays, not just, what are the other events that can be booked in the space?
So we've had networking nights. We have a networking night coming up on November 23rd. I'm sorry, November 23rd. What?
I was going to say that's a while from now.
May 23rd. So May 23rd, we're having a networking evening. We've had fundraisers, like I said. We've had Pioneer Valley Rowing Club had their fundraiser here. It's a very versatile space. We've had events where we have tables set up, tables of 8, with a dance floor. This Kingfish will be more concert seating. So there's, we have high top cocktail tables for our networking events that we put out. We can, we have parties coming in, a wedding. So we have all these different events that can be held in this space.
And you said that it can hold up to 400 people.
Up to 400 people. Yep.
Which around here, we don't have a lot of spaces that can hold that many people.
No. So like I said earlier, it's either your little bars that are or little venues like a VFW or something like this, that's maybe 100, 150, or you have MGM and Mass Mutual that are huge events, big, thousands of people. So we're somewhere in that sweet spot in between the two. So it's sort of nice.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you're surprised that he would come from a building that's about to be knocked down and become a school and, it's kind of broken down. But I'm like, if you think about it, have you been to New York City? Some of those places, some of those bars and clubs that, depending on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Some broke down buildings, some things that are close up, scaffolding places.
Right.
So I don't think I would worry about that too much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the building is beautiful. I mean, the architecture in it, it's a historical building. We've been able to reuse the space. So I think, we definitely did something great for our neighborhood. And I think it's just super important for everyone to support it. And by maybe checking us out and attending an event.
So I asked my guests, since we're going to wrap up in a few minutes, if they want to share any last thoughts. It could be about the venue. It could be your thoughts about world peace. It could be anything you want to share. You could just tell everybody about what your summer vacation plans are. Whatever you want to share with the audience, go for it. You have about 2 to 3 minutes and you can share whatever you want.
Well, summer vacation plans are totally out for this year because we're working. But listen, I think parents need to get rid of the electronics, get rid of all that stuff, get your kids outside, get them involved in the arts, look into programming, see what we can do for these kids, because the arts open up a totally different world for these kids. I see it firsthand every single day at work with these kids. We give them music lessons. They do art. They have art class every day. And it's the accomplishment and just the look on their face makes my day so much better. And I think it's important to remember that and why we're here and why we're doing this. There's so much more to life than being stuck on a phone or video games. So that's all I have to say about that.
So true. As we're sitting in front of our electronics today and it is nice and sunny out.
Right?
Angela, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you guys go to 52 Sumner. You can see all their links in their Instagram profile so that you can buy tickets for the upcoming shows and to check out their venue in case you want to book a thing for them, whatever it may be. Yeah. Now, you guys hang on for a second and I will be in the kitchen and cooking up something yummy this week. Okay, everybody. So I am in the kitchen today. Thank you, Angela, for joining us today from 52 Sumner and talking about the great new entertainment venue in the area. You did hear, so anybody from anywhere can come, book an act, check it out. So please migrate to Western Mass, show us some love, book the menu. So right now, today, I am going to be making some delicious baked oatmeal. I know, you don't traditionally think baked oatmeal for summer, but I'm telling you, this is going to be amazing. So I have some delicious cinnamon in here. I swear you could just put cinnamon in almost anything and I would love it. And I have about 2 cups or so of extra thick, quick cooking oats. I have some chia seeds. Now you can use flax seeds or chia, whichever you prefer. And I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of for you. 2 tablespoons. Now I love chia seeds. They're good for the gut. They're good for you. They're very gut healing. They have great fiber. They also are really good at keeping things together. I have some baking powder. And we have a little bit of coconut sugar to give it that little like cinnamon swirl kind of taste. Just a hint, because we're going to put in some maple syrup. And I'm going to just move this around so that we combined all of our dry ingredients, make sure the cinnamon gets coated through the oats. And you'll be able to see that. The oats will start looking like, oh yeah, we have cinnamon on them. And they won't look so plain and brown or tan color. I know it seems strange, but trust me, you'll want everything coated together and spread out, because otherwise you'll end up with a lopsided mixture. Now in here, I have 2 cups of almond milk, or whatever non-dairy milk you want, or you can use regular milk. That's totally fine too. I have 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and a splash of vanilla. So I'm going to add this in. That's going to be our liquid. Ooh, get every bit of that maple syrup and vanilla goodness in there. Yeah. We're going to give that a stir. And when we give that a stir, you want that to sit for a few seconds, because you want it to absorb into the oats. You want everything to be coated and yummy, kind of like you're making oatmeal, but with like a little extra kick to it. Now, you can put in at this point some mushed bananas, some almond butter, whatever you want. But we are going to bake this into yummy goodness. Now, I'm going to let this sit in the liquid for like 5 minutes or so, because I want those chia seeds to activate, kind of like they do in a smoothie. And I have an 8x8 dish that I have here that I'm going to coat with my 5-order almond or avocado oil. Make sure when you spray, you do it over your sink, because I've made that mistake and ended up getting it on the floor because I thought I wouldn't miss. And of course, it's me. I missed. So we're going to do that. Now that I've let this sit a little bit, you can see as it sits, it starts to thicken up a little and the oats start to suck in the liquid. And that's exactly what you want. So I'm going to put this in here. And you're going to let it sit for a few minutes more. And then we're going to bake this on 350. When it comes out, we're going to make a cinnamon swirl drizzle for it. So you can go to the Instagram after, and you can be able to look. You'll see the cinnamon swirl drizzle, but I'm going to make it now to show you. All right. Oh, goodness me. I just realized something. I melted the coconut oil and forgot. See what happens when you're an insomniac and you forget things? All right, so we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of coconut oil in here and leave 1 separate for the topping. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. You can make it almost like a drizzle for when it comes out, or you can make like a cinnamon crunch, like crunchiness on top that's more like a coffee cake kind of thing, which I prefer the coffee cake method. So we're going to do that now. So what I'm going to do, since we're going to do it in here, with the 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. And I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. We're going to add in a little more cinnamon I have over here. So we're going to add in more cinnamon. A lot more, because we want that cinnamony, crunchy goodness. And we're going to add in just a touch of flour. Because what you're going to want to do is, I'm going to use gluten-free flour. So I have a drawer down here that's full of flours. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of flour. And we're going to make like a crumble topping like you would on top of a coffee cake, which honestly, I swear is like my favorite part of a coffee cake. All right, so we're just gonna mix this together, and it's gonna get nice and wet and crumbly, and it's gonna make those deliciously crumbly bits that go on top, and we're gonna bake it on top. So this doesn't bake for very long. So when it comes out of the oven, I'll show you guys, so tune into our Instagram page so that you can see what the final version looks like, and you can see a little picture of the recipe up there. Now, I want you guys to join me next week. We have some great guests coming up, and as always, if you want to be a guest, make sure you contact us, okay? We want you to be a sponsor. We want you to be a guest. We want you to take part in everything we do. So here you go. Make sure you're contacting us today. Make sure you're emailing us. We want to hear from you, okay? So everyone have a good week. I will see you next Wednesday. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. I'll be looking for you, okay? Bye, everybody. Enjoy your week.